Okay, we want to learn something very special about Parasha Ki Tissa, and we have a few questions to really go into the depth of the Parasha Ki Tissa. So the first question is that we know that Hashem showed Moshe Rabbeinu a coin of fire, machatzis shekel, in order to count the people. Hashem said you have to use half a shekel of fire. And Moshe Rabbeinu didn't really understand that why half a shekel and why a shekel of fire. What Hashem had to show him an image of the shekel of fire. And the second question is, what's the whole story with the sin of the golden calf? Why we're still affected today? Why were most of the Jewish people, were all the Jewish people really punished for it? And I mean, only the Erev Rav, which was about 3,000 people, as opposed to 3 million people, why were they all punished for that? Why is it such a severe thing? According to opinion, it was not direct Avodah Zarah, meaning they wanted to use it as a tool to connect to God because there was no more Moshe Rabbeinu, but still, it was viewed really like Avodah Zarah. So what's the real problem there, and how does it affect us today? I mean, that was 2,000 years ago. We don't bow down, at least most people don't bow down anymore to idols. So why are we still kind of, according to many opinions, paying still the price for that big mistake? So we have to ask also a question like, the Chazal tell us, if we look at the last pasuk in the Torah, it speaks about the greatness of Moshe Rabbeinu, what Moshe Rabbeinu accomplished. And the last verse, to say, Lenei Kol Israel. On there, Rashi says, what was the great thing that Moshe Rabbeinu did? You don't want to know what? The greatest thing that Moshe Rabbeinu did is in this week's Parsha, and it's the breaking of the Luchos. What, really? The breaking of the Luchos? Like, how is that great? I mean, nobody would have thought that he would do that. I mean, it was like, this is like a surprise thing. And this is what Hashem says, wow, that's the greatest thing ever accomplished. What about just getting the Torah or taking the Jews out of Egypt, all that, but not breaking the Luchos? So why is that so powerful and so important in the eyes of Hashem? So let's try to understand, again, we mentioned once in the past that what was the root of the sin of the golden calf. So Rabbi Tzadok of Lublin says that in the book Pri Tzadik, that the reason why we were led to the golden calf is because at the beginning, when Hashem spoke at Mount Sinai, the Jewish people were scared and afraid. They were so much worried that they were going to die and not be able to handle the intensity of our connection with Hashem, that they say, no, Hashem, stop speaking. Now that's it. You speak to Moshe Rabbeinu, and then Moshe Rabbeinu will speak to us. So he said that at that moment, there was a breach in the relationship. We didn't want anymore that direct relationship. We were asking something indirect. We were just staying with basically the fear of, just doing what Hashem said. And we lost at that moment really the connection of love, the connection of intimacy, of uniqueness, of direct connection. We basically say we want something indirect, not the full direct intensity of two people who love each other. At that moment, the Satan entered. The snake knew he had a way to get in. So what happened? We were there at Mount Sinai, and when Moshe Rabbeinu was missing, they got scared. They didn't know who to turn on towards. They were supposed to turn towards Hashem. Instead, no, they had to use an indirect connection, and they couldn't find anything but that golden calf that they made, and that was going to be their tool to communicate to Hashem. So that was the big problem. The big problem was that they said, we are not really interested in that direct relationship. We just want something that is good for us, that we enjoy, that we can focus on. And Hashem said, you cheated on me. Moshe Rabbeinu came, throw the luchos, the tablets, onto the golden calf, and it broke. And Moshe Rabbeinu made them drink the ashes of the golden calf that he put into the water. And we learned from Chazal that this, because it was as if someone suspected, like a sota, someone suspected of adultery, and Hashem basically say, you cheated on me by doing the golden calf, and we were like a sota drinking the water, and we was all a message that we had cheated on Hashem. So this is very strange. Like, what do you mean cheated on Hashem? So it's very interesting. Actually, if you look at the 5 commandments of Ben Adam leMakom and 5 commandments Ben Adam leChavero, the commandments between man and man in the 10 commandments, and the commandment between man and God, they parallel each other. The 5 first correspond to the 5 next. So the first corresponds to the first, the second corresponds to the second. And the second one is don't make any other gods. And the second one by man and man is no adultery. So we see this direct connection between no other God, no adultery. So, but what's the root of that? And we know the Rambam tells us that why did the Jewish people start adultery? To allow themselves to fulfill their sexual desires. So what are we talking about here? Here there's a very clear message. The message is we are not connected to the true service of God. We are connected only to our desire to fulfill our own needs, our own pleasure, our own desires. That was the whole problem there at Har Sinai. We say, no, God, we don't want the way level that you want. We want the level that we want. That's not love. That's not love. If you want to be in a loving relationship, you have to want what the other wants also. So there we had created something that represented, no, I'm going to serve you the way I want on the level that I want. Hashem said, you didn't understand anything. That's not love. That's cheating. That's